My fiancé's daughter mocked me for being a construction worker and told me not to attend her school events, even after I paid her tuition. So I cut her off. When her real dad got angry and my fiancé took their side, I cut them both off too. Hello, Reddit I+ here. I've been a construction worker for over 20 years. It's not glamorous, but it's honest work. I've built homes, schools, and hospitals with my own hands. Structures people rely on every day. I take pride in that. I'm not a flashy guy. I don't wear suits or drive a luxury car. But I make good money, and more importantly, I live with integrity. 3 years ago, I met Angela. She was beautiful, well-spoken, and carried herself with this quiet grace. She was a nurse, and we bonded over our love for working-class values. Or so I thought. She had a 16-year-old daughter, Kayla, from a previous relationship. At first, Kayla was standoffish, which I understood. I wasn't trying to replace her father. I just wanted to support Angela, and if Kayla was open to it, be a part of their lives. Angela and I got engaged after a year and a half. We moved in together. I paid for renovations on her house, turned the basement into a livable space, fixed the roof, redid the kitchen, all on my own dime, my own hands. I even helped fund Kayla's private school tuition when her dad stopped paying his half. Angela was embarrassed to ask, but I didn't hesitate. "I'm doing this for you both," I said. "We're a family." That word, family, meant something to me. I didn't grow up with much, so I took care of what I had. But Kayla never warmed up to me. In fact, as time went on, she got meaner. She'd make snide comments about my work boots at the door, wrinkle her nose at my hands if they were calloused or dirty from a long day. One evening, I overheard her on the phone with a friend. "He's just some blue-collar loser, like my mom could have done way better. I told her not to let him come to parent night. I don't want people thinking he's my stepdad." The words hit me like a nail through the soul. I didn't say anything that night. I thought maybe she was just being a teenager, but the pattern continued. She'd roll her eyes when I offered her a ride, snicker if I said anything at dinner, and she never once said thank you. Not for the tuition, not for the car repairs, not for the roof over her head. Angela saw it. She always tried to smooth things over with, "She's just going through a phase," or "She doesn't know how to express herself yet." But it didn't sit right with me. She knew how to express herself. She just chose to treat me like dirt. The final straw came during her graduation ceremony. I had taken the day off, even skipped a big job deadline to be there. Angela told me the school only gave her 2 tickets, so she was taking Kayla's dad. "Seriously?" I asked. "After everything I've done?" Angela avoided my eyes. She asked for him specifically. I couldn't believe it. Her real dad, the one who bailed on tuition, rarely showed up, never lifted a finger. He got the seat, so I stayed home. Sat on the couch in my work jeans and watched TV, pretending I didn't care. But I did. I cared more than I ever let on. When they came back from the ceremony, Kayla walked past me without a word. She was holding a bouquet, probably from her dad. Angela looked at me like I was the one being dramatic. That night I did some thinking. Hard thinking. I wasn't angry. I was done paying tuition, done fixing cars, done being disrespected in my own home. The next morning, I told Angela I wouldn't be funding Kayla's college tuition next year, something we had already loosely planned for. I also said I'd be moving out. At first, she thought I was bluffing. But when I started packing my tools and loading up the truck, she panicked. "You can't do this. She's just a kid," she said. "No," I said quietly. "She's a young adult, old enough to know right from wrong, and you're old enough to have stood up for me." That's when she dropped the real bomb. "She's still her father's daughter. He may not have paid for much, but at least he never tried to take his place." I froze. "So, all this time," I said slowly, "I was just the guy filling the gaps until he decided to show up again?" Her silence told me everything. In the weeks that followed, Kayla's dad started showing up more. Taking her out, bonding, all of a sudden, he was dad of the year. And Angela? She posted pictures online like it had always been the 3 of them. I was wiped clean from the story. I wasn't angry anymore. Just hollow, betrayed not just by the girl I tried to help raise, but by the woman who let her do it. A few months later, I got a text from Angela. "She's struggling at college. Things are tight. Could we talk?" I didn't respond. I had already given them everything I had. My time, my labor, my money, my heart. They threw it away for a man who showed up with flowers and left when the bills came. So no, I didn't help. I didn't show up, and I didn't look back. A few weeks after that text, I got a letter in the mail, handwritten, no return address. But I recognized the loopy cursive right away. Angela's. I debated tossing it, but something told me to read it. Maybe I needed closure. Inside, the letter started with an apology, or what looked like one. I know you probably hate me right now. I made a mess of things. But I need you to understand where I was coming from. She went on to explain how, deep down, she'd always hoped Kayla's father would eventually become the man she needed him to be. How she wanted her daughter to have a relationship with her real dad. That every time I stepped up, it reminded her of what he wasn't. And it made her feel guilty, ashamed, confused. I never meant to let you be used. I just didn't know how to balance being grateful and being loyal to Kayla's idea of family. There was no mention of the tuition. No recognition of the sacrifices. Just more emotional gymnastics trying to justify why she let them erase me. I folded the letter carefully and slid it back into the envelope. Then I put it in a drawer. I wasn't angry. Not anymore. But I was done. I rebuilt my life slowly. Found a small house outside the city and poured myself into fixing it up. Started my own contracting business. I stayed busy. Met new people. Didn't talk about the past much. About a year later, I ran into an old mutual friend of mine and Angela's at the hardware store. We exchanged a few pleasantries before he said, "Hey, I heard Kayla dropped out of college?" I shrugged. Wouldn't know. We haven't spoken in a long time. He hesitated. Angela's not doing great either. Her ex split again. Took off a few months after Kayla moved back home. Guess he got bored. I nodded. It didn't surprise me. That guy never stuck around when it counted. She talks about you sometimes, he added. Said you were the only stable thing they had. That maybe if she had been a little braver, things would have turned out different. I didn't reply. I just paid for my lumber and left. That night I sat on my porch with a beer, looking out at the fence I'd finished building earlier that day. There was a kind of peace in it. Quiet. No yelling. No tension. No one taking me for granted. Then I heard the crunch of tires on gravel. A car pulled up slowly and stopped in front of my house. Kayla stepped out. She looked different, older, thinner, but still with that same guarded expression she always wore when she didn't know how to act. I stood up but didn't move toward her. I know I don't deserve to be here, she started, voice shaking a little. But I needed to say something. Mom doesn't know I came. I waited. I was awful to you. I thought I was being loyal to my dad, but he left again. You were the one who showed up, every time, and I treated you like trash. Silence stretched between us. She looked down. I dropped out. Couldn't keep up with the tuition, and honestly, I didn't even know why I was there. I was just trying to make them proud. But they're not even around anymore. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to tell her it was too late. That sorry didn't fix everything, but I could see it in her eyes. The first real ownership I'd ever witnessed from her. I don't expect you to forgive me, she said. I just wanted to say thank you for what you did, for everything. Then she turned, walked back to her car, and drove off. I stood there a long time after she left. No, her apology didn't erase the pain. It didn't change what happened. But it was the first honest thing she'd ever given me. That night, I took Angela's letter back out. I read it one last time, then burned it in the fire pit out back. Watched the paper curl and blacken. The words turn to smoke. Some betrayals don't get neat endings. Some goodbyes don't come with closure. Just space, distance, time. And maybe that's enough.